So hello, this will be my recording. I'm recording. Hello, this will be my submission video for Roster Levels New Game Plus. I'll be playing Bastion, made with giant games. They've made other games like Transistor, Pyre, Hades. But this is my favorite game. Category All-Star Levels New Game Plus means, well, I'm going to play All-Star Levels, not skip any of them. And this New Game Plus, so all of our weapons are kind of broken. Hammerhead does nothing special besides tons of damage, one-shot basically every single enemy we encounter until we equip better equipment. I skipped the repeater to activate the fountain, which activates timer for our next set of enemies to spawn. Now I have a repeater. It's a fairly weak weapon, but it has homing bullets, so it helps in this early stage of the game. I also regret a walk-in kill round, which makes a shield spawn right here. Pick it up and wait for enemies to spawn. One important thing to mention about this run is we use the mouse movement. It is important because the mouse movement walking speed gets added to the rolling speed when we roll, so that speeds it up. At this stage of the level, we need to kill all the squirts but two, these tiny little enemies. Managing our repeater reload at the right time is important because the reload is long. Due to the auto-aiming, sometimes we kill more, so it doesn't matter if we kill more, we just need 2 or less left over. Next up is War District. The most important part of the level is when we go to the distillery and the arsenal to equip our proper equipment. To get there we need to kill those 2 turrets to open the gate. Over here we equip 3 spirits, champagne, more damage, less lives. Very risky. We crit at 33%, and where is it? Black Rye. We have 2 more of a secret skill, which will be explained a bit later. In the arsenal we equip a pike and a musket, basically the strongest weapons in the game for single target damage and AoE clear. And we took the pike vault skill, which lets us soar across gaps which we normally couldn't cross. Now we enter the auto-scroller section. And at the end of the auto-scroller section you will just see how broken this skill is. I need some time to set this up, because it's moving. I missed it. But it's only a tiny time loss, because once we get up, the auto-scroller is done. That would have saved like 3 seconds, 4 probably, but oh well. Now that we enter the Bastion, we're going to initiate 2 conversations with this NPC. Once the first conversation ends, the second is still going, but we regain control. And we have control once we put in our core, just because we had a cutscene going. The dialogue was a bit messed up, but so I got the slower version of a skip. Building skip. Usually when you are in the Bastion you need to build a building. But on the first visit you can avoid using such a glitch. Next up is Workman Ward, a very simple level. Get to the cage, hit it, and kill the boss. There's really nothing to this level at all. Next up will be Melting Pot. First of all, Bastion segment, yeah. This category has a fairly specific building order for the first half. Right now we want to build the memorial, which is the top option. Lost and Found would have been fine as well, but just more consistent to pick the memorial. Because the building order depends on what items you pick up, which is sort of weird. This level is an auto-scroller, a wave-based auto-scroller. but the waves don't advance due to some sort of a bug. So this is like sit back and relax kind of level. There's really not much to say about it. I guess I can talk a bit more about my equipment. As I have mentioned before, Pike is a relatively long-range melee weapon, which has an insane damage output and has an innate crit chance, which helps at some points. Musket is incredibly good at clearing the rubble and other such trash out of the way. And clearing out hordes of enemies. Going to try to take some extra damage to activate Very Risky. Not necessary, and risky to some extent. But saves like half a second. The most important part of the level is killing these scumbags. They are literally the... no, not... there are one more set of enemies which advance the wave quicker, but these scumbags are the most important enemies to kill quick. This is why I needed my crit, that middle enemy wouldn't die without it. And since he's one of the enemies that advance the wave, and these big squirts are the other set of enemies which are advancing the wave. Anything else in this level literally doesn't matter. I picked up the ancient spices because it sets up buildings in the way I want to. It doesn't necessarily lose or gain time, just what I prefer doing. The preferred building order, the passion window. Since we have like, we will have to select one of the 5 remaining buildings once we come back from this level. And they get reordered every time you pick up an item, so I always pick up that item for consistency. So once again, auto-scroller, it really doesn't matter whether I'm killing these guys quick or slow. The level is going to proceed at the same speed. So yeah, when I'm using my mouse I'm rolling this fast, but if I wasn't using my mouse my rolls would be like this. So it's much faster to use the mouse movements. Just thought it would be a good idea to show off since I'm not doing anything better. Now the core's going to drop, I'm just clearing my path towards it. You can cross this gap a little bit quicker when you're just waiting for it to arrive. And this level is done. That's 1 out of 3 auto-scrollers done.
I still remember the look on his face after that one.
So now, we put another core, build distillery in the top left position. Very important for later on. Of course I messed up. But that's not very bad, I can still build it top right a bit later on.
Couples used to walk the sundown path.
I think I picked up something I shouldn't have. Absent-mindedly, but as I said, that doesn't lose time, there's still never time to set it up properly. This vault on that turret transports us to the other side. Just one of the shenanigans you can do with a pike vault. This level's on the path, the ground is very nice, you cannot roll too fast. And here we go, there's another pike vault. Normally you would have to kill that big guy, but we can just vault over the gate. Some of the ground spawns. If we had killed that big scumbag, all of the ground would have spawned and we could have rolled normally fast enough, but we had to slow down a bit. Because not all of the ground spawns when we leave that enemy alive. This level did not have a core, so the Bastion segment is head straight towards the exit. In this next level there's going to be what I consider to be the hardest skip in this category that I do. There's one harder, but no, there's actually 2 harder skips that I don't do. But this is going to be the hardest pike vault skip that I do. The ground in this level is extremely uncooperative. You have to be mindful how you go. You have to slow down, wiggle your way around, slow the kid down so you wouldn't fall through the ground. This is going to happen, isn't it? Okay, second try, that's not bad. That skips basically the entire level. I piked the last cord through the gate because if there are enemies around, those statues don't break and it's harder to pick up the core. Ideally I would have killed all of them in one hit. So, one of the cutscenes. I'm going to pop in the core and build the arsenal. Mid left. My buildings will be slightly slower. They should be instant, but I messed up my buildings. That's like 2 seconds in the whole run lost due to my mismanagement of buildings. You could draw to the monument to put in the core, but it's safer to just walk because you can just start talking to NPCs and that's not fun. Arsenal's over here. I enter and exit the arsenal to initiate a dialogue, because if I hadn't, there would be dialogue on the map, and while there's dialogue initiated by entering the map, we cannot leave for a level. So whenever we know there's going to be a dialogue when you enter the map, we try to queue up another set of dialogue, so we wouldn't need to wait in the map select screen. Under Brick Fort, the level where you would normally find your musket, but we get to ignore. This level showcases how good the musket is just clearing the rubble out of the way. Once we pick up the core, we can just roll around the gate, and this is going to be where we will do this level spike vaults. They're fairly easy. We just do 2 of them across this whole section. It saves like 4 seconds in total, rather than going around. And this level is just about done. We just need to clip around that gate. It is not really possible to pike vault around it, so we just use an ordinary clip around it. Next up, before Kurd. I guess there's still a Bastion segment. All I need to do is to not build the distillery. I'll fill up the empty slots a bit later, just before Joss and Bog, which will come in 1, 2, 3 levels. 4 levels, I'm sorry. Yeah. Not that matters. Before Kurd, straight for a level. Roll to the boss, kill it, roll out. The ground is mostly cooperative, but you have to do a tiny bit of slowdown. If my first pike hit would have critted, it would have one-shot the boss, but it didn't. The crit is 10% chance, and that saves like 1 second in this level. Inconsequential, but definitely nice when it happens. This level in New Game generally unlocks us to build the shrine, but well, in New Game Plus we don't care about any of that, since we have everything unlocked. Langston River, the second out of 3 auto-scrollers in this game. Not really much to say. In New Game we would use this to manage our experience a tiny bit, but since we're max level and we don't need any level ups here, we don't do anything. To pass the time I generally try to protect the statue, but that's so irrelevant. This is generally where I would just pray there are some donations to fill the void. Because there's really nothing to talk about in this level. I'm just killing the enemies and waiting while the barge arrives at his destination. I guess I can talk about pike crits. This weapon can crit, 10% chance. It deals not the standard double amount of crits we gain for Rare Whiskey, but due to its upgrade it's going to deal 250% damage. So as you can see, it deals 140 with a crit and only 56 with a normal thrust. It's a bit more than 250%, but the game writes 250%, I'm not questioning it. There's literally no reason I'm protecting the statue over here other than self-entertainment. Finally we're here, out of the first part of this auto-scroller. Going to wait till the ground forms. There's a fairly easy pike wall over here to jump over this gap. Pike wall can also crit, anything with a pike can crit, but pike wall damage is generally too unreliable. Right now I'm just going to intentionally let my face get pecked over by these peckers to activate Very Risky. Very Risky guarantees our crits at 33 or lower, 33% or lower health. So I have to be careful, since due to the effects of Champagne, if I die, I die. I do not have a carryover in this category. That being said, it's pretty easy to not die. The only place where I'm going to be ever at risk at dying, I will equip another spirit, which will give me back another life again. So, there's literally... yeah. That's another place to use the pike wall damage, since it one-shots the enemy with a crit, and I got Very Risky for a guaranteed crit, to not rely on the 10% chance. So the score only ends once that boss is killed. The last part of this level, there's going to be a big pecker spawning over here, and one in the middle. That was a requirement to finish the level. These peckers are just annoying. I kill them, just so they don't kill me. They really don't have a chance to kill me, but just to be safe. Next up is Prosper Bluff, the most broken level by pike vaults. You can pike vault a lot here. This level is cut in more than half. First we just clear some rubble, then we vault over a gate, because why not? Then we walk to the gate, we vault over another gate, in a specific location so all of the ground spawns. Then we do a short setup, for another vault, and another vault to the end, completely bypassing the entirety of this level. This level is the optimum way to show off how broken pike vaults are. Next up is going to be Wild Outskirts. Before that I'm just going to put in a core, build a building and leave. Nothing interesting about this Bastion segment. I'm going to build mid-right, that's the only important thing to mention, because I'm going to fill the hole I have in the buildings
But there was more to be done.
in the next level.
Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either.
I had to double check because, as I said earlier, I messed up the building order, so I have to be a bit more careful of what I build.
The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive.
This level, just go up to the area where the core is,
Cook it.
activate some enemies, kill them, get Very Risky actually. It's going to be another level where we'll get Very Risky.
I can build a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Let's make the kid so soon.
We got Very Risky so we could one-shot that pincushion from afar.
Getting that core was one
Now, getting the core initiates a cutscene. During it we clip out and fall down. Falling down gains our control back.
go without a fight.
So we could move during the blackout and we exit the level.
He's anxious to get back.
Just as that.
After all, he's got the final core.
Next up we're going to perform a glitch called the Pipe Glitch.
Well, no.
It's fairly similar to the earlier dialogue glitch. We initiate a cutscene by falling and we regain our control by falling.
There to give a warm welcome.
During that we will build another building to fill our holes.
Discussion.
Going to be the distillery because we only left our building.
Us to the words.
And we're going to enter Jossen Bog, the hardest level in this category. We consider everything that could go wrong.
And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone.
Fall into that hole, activate the cutscene and fall. So we can regain our control, put in guard,
But there's a way to put her back together.
and just as if we cannot leave earlier when the whiteout finishes. That's the optimum time to build the building,
Sets off in search of Charlotte.
because we don't have anything else to do besides wait.
Jossen Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid. And I won't be
First part of this level, oops, clicked off screen.
well,
First part of this level is
what else could I do?
really nothing to talk about, it's literally rolling
Zolf
to the true level.
bind.
The true level happens in the dreams.
But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the core's medicine. Shame the only place.
Now the first area is going to be a bunch of stink eyes, exploding enemies. If I was going for a world record, I would damage myself on them, decay the slight edge in very risky, which saves like 1 second in this level, but it's far too risky in a marathon. In the marathon we're just trying to stay at full health to not die. If I remember correctly, the earliest you can finish is after 3 blackouts. So after this one. Oh, I face tanked one of them, so it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to fall off to regain control. So I could initiate a vault earlier over that gate. If I had not fallen off, I would have still not regained control. It's one of the places where Whiskey would have helped. Since I couldn't one-shot those enemies, I fall off again. I regain control by falling. Don't need to wait for the whiteout to disappear. In this section I have to be really quick at killing enemies. If I'm not quick enough, I'm losing 20 seconds. Otherwise that Ash statue wouldn't spawn. I fell off to try and trigger Zombie Kid, which I failed. If I had properly timed this, I could have moved the kid, fallen off, and started rolling. But now I have to wait for this mini cutscene to end. Timing is insanely tight in New Game Plus. So it's really not weird that I didn't get it. It would be very weirder if I got it, but that's pretty big time loss. If I were going for a recce. If I was going for a record, that would be more or less a reset. Despite being 30 seconds, if I was even and failed that glitch, that would be a reset. What I wanted to say. Yeah, this level is basically over. I'll pick up a shard and there's going to be a boss fight which is timed. So there's really no stress to even optimize it because you have to kill and then just wait. The timer starts now. I killed the boss, killing the lackeys. Killing these even though it's not necessary. And I'm waiting for a pincushion to spawn here real soon. I need to kill it to exit the level.
Mother only knows what happened in the bog.
Hence there's no optimization for this fight because we have to wait a lot anyways. Yeah, lost about 10 seconds due to failing that glitch.
A shard is like a poor man's core.
Next up is Rufus Lagoon. I picked up that item just for the hell of it, there's no reason behind it. Just superstition, if we don't pick it up, Burren is going to be really bad. Just some weird superstition in the community. Fun. This level, Rufus Lagoon, we're going to be chasing Queen Anne, the boss, which you can see right here, the horn of hers. You cannot damage her until the final area of this level. We're using the amazing capabilities of the musket to clear our path. We ignore the pike because we already have it. We tried to clip the gate, failed it. We clipped it on the second try. We cannot clip this gate, but we can open it by killing one enemy, and it becomes clippable. Then we aggro the boss to boost us over that gap
the thicker the tall grass grows.
and initiate the boss fight.
These Queen Anne's
Although I said initiate, this still means I have to wait for quite a bit
the
to
shards.
clear the arena. The boss will become active right around this spot. I need to hit him with 3 pike hits and a musket shot, or a pike hit, a pike crit, and a musket shot. It wasn't like I had to do 3 pike attacks.
Hope Queen Anne don't mind us borrowing from her treasury.
That was Rufus Lagoon. Next up is going to be Point Lemaine, another auto-scroller.
It was worth it.
Guess it's about time I could talk about the story of this game. Fashion, kid wakes up,
That's the
the
greatest.
ground actually forms upon as he walks. He goes to the bash and meets Rux, the stranger, the narrator,
Know how Ceylondia became the richest city in the world.
wants to collect the cores because Rux tells him
With the wild
that he needs to collect them,
it was gonna
and everything's going to be alright after he collects them.
happen in a fit.
So after he collects 7 cores,
And rail.
Dolph wrecks the monument and we need to collect 7 more shards,
It still works.
which is what we're doing now.
Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices. The army's triggers once had
There's actually a good reason why Dolph is destroying the monument in the Bastion.
trouble on the tracks.
Guess that's spoiler territory because I haven't gotten that far yet. This auto-scroller is just like Langston River. We wait until we reach our destination. There will be a few texts, like after the first auto-scroll part of this level, I'm going to try to line up a row so I could roll off screen like this. Well, I can't do that now because the ground hasn't formed. Ground forms as this elevator goes. But once we exit this elevator, I will roll like this off screen to reach as far as I can before the cutscene of the elevator's end
One of those things slipped by.
ends. Yeah. Do a setup is pretty hard because you have to do it quick, otherwise it won't save time. I'm currently rolling as far as I can. The camera catches up. That was an amazing roll, by the way.
Of course,
An amazing angle. We covered a lot of distance during the time the camera wasn't focused on us, even with the slower rolls about mouse input. I couldn't use the mouse input rolls because they go towards my mouse. Since I was going off screen, I just had to angle and just go like this.
Well, the rail.
One fun thing that happens in this part is that the birds stop flapping when you fall down. Not this time around, I'm not sure what causes it.
Rotten wood there on the rails. Turned
This time they're flapping.
sensual. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath?
Yeah, this is like the second part of the auto-scroller, the last auto-scroller of the game.
I tell you, it ain't fun.
The only thing I have to worry about is not taking too much damage. Because a death is a death. The auto-scroller is going to end just about now, after this enemy. Going to be another cutscene. I will be shooting off screen to destroy some of the rubble that will be in my way. Those are actually logs, not rubble, but same idea.
They'll be picking swamp weed out of those boots for days.
One more shot. I have to kill one enemy if I do it quick enough. I can clip past this gate.
Waiting for
If I had waited for too long, I would have had to kill all 3 of those enemies, but if you are quick enough, only one of those enemies is enough to trigger the gate to start opening and make it clippable.
comes to, the man's long gone. But something else is there.
What's up?
Well, what's a kid?
The Zolf messenger knocked us out, gave us a message, and told us to give it to Zia.
And he took that note.
The letter basically contains his reasons for destroying the monument.
That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it?
That note does cut straight to the heart of things.
Late to unlock the potential of this place.
Next is Go for Cauldron. It houses one of the pike walls, which I don't do. The pike walls save 3 seconds, but I'm only 1 in 8 for those pike walls, so I just skip that. It has 2 other neat tricks though. The worst thing about Comfort Cauldron is that the ground is really uncooperative here. First trick is vaulting into this gate makes it clipping insanely easier. Another level which shows off musket's great path clearing capabilities, I guess. This is where the vault would happen, to the lower part to the left, but I don't do it, because it's hard. We would end up here from over there. Yeah, we're just going to the shard. The next trick of this level is just going to be after this annoying ground which we cannot roll into. If I pike vault and interact at the same time, which I didn't, I would get up instantly. But that's almost a frame perfect trick. I need to clip back out of this gate. Fairly easy, but I fell. Usually the ground is cooperative at that point since it has already formed, but oh well. Next up, the Man's End. I think the second shortest level in the game, after Workman Ward. Short and sweet level. Whoa, it has slight gimmick at the start, I guess.
The arsenal's complete in case we need protection.
Oh.
Wanna keep the wilds at bay, pack yourself a musket.
I had to re-enter the arsenal because I found that dialogue has ended. If I had entered the map select screen, Rex would start talking about the next level and wouldn't let me enter. But I entered and exited the arsenal to trigger another line, so I could instantly select this level. Yeah, the gimmick is here that you cannot see where the ground forms and where are you going, but it's only at the start of a level. One little trick to do here, once these next 2 pincushions spawn, is to damage boost off of them. Sometimes they shoot you really far forward, but it's mostly RNG. After we pick up a shard, bunch of bosses spawn, but we just roll past them and exit the level. The narrator also mentions that you can do that. Next up, Burston Quarry. A level where the ground is not an issue, and you can roll as fast as possible. Houses to one of the last pike vaults this run. Yes, one of the last. There's going to be one more after Burston Quarry. Things that are dropping from the sky are basically currency. I was rolling too slow because I was talking too much. Usually you make it and don't get that text. And that's what I meant by not being able to enter a level instantaneously.
It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes burstone.
This level is a great show off for how tight the movement can be. Since you're skirting around those enemies, and if you touch one of those enemies they whoop you off to the edge and you fall off. The damage boosts you off the edge. The most interesting difference in this level from New Game is that we try to kill this enemy before it jumps. If we crit the enemy once before it jumps, we kill it before it jumps completely. The chance of it critting on the first 3 hits is about 35% chance, so it's not really in our favor, but it's worth going for, at least in my opinion. So, at this point, the rest of the story can be released. Let's say released. The reason Zov destroyed the monument is because Rux and the Celandians, or like Celandians, not Rex, tried to commit genocide against Viora, the Pale people. Here we're going to atone for our sins by dying. And the reason we're actually dying is to skip a large cutscene and a place of this level. For some reason, if we restart the area, then exit the main menu and continue, we skip the entire section. And we can just go to Bastion proper. I'm going around the monument, but I'm going to go bottom left. The reason for that, if I was going through the bottom, I would trigger another cutscene from going too near to the history books or the stockpot.
But our part is far from over.
Next up is the Zendragate. Kid is trying to find the last shard.
One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us.
One gimmick about this level is that each section is denoted as a day in a kid's life trying to track down that last shard. They were trying to stop him by any means necessary. Well, we kind of roll past all of their efforts.
We never wanted to go to war again. Wanted to rule it out. Most of our efforts didn't bear fruit.
One fun thing to do is when you activate this barge, just go over here. The barge leaves and you're standing here. It looks kinda funny. You'll get teleported to the barge. Once the screen transitions, stay free, third section.
With his help, the Mancers devised a way to seal the Earth
We fall off here
in a flash.
to avoid a lengthy get-up cutscene.
And the Tassel terminals will be gone.
With me, we want very risky for the end of this level.
Discovery was never to be used.
I'm using the amazing musket's capabilities to clear the rubble, which are now bolstered by critting the rubble. Since the rubble has its own HP, crits actually help to destroy the rubble.
Remember, the Bastion can fix everything.
Here's the last shard. Sadly we cannot take it, we're going to get knocked up here. We're going to stand up while blocking to counter this enemy
Collaborate on that.
and kill it. The reason we got very risky is that we cannot one-shot these enemies without the crit. So it guarantees
As part of
a quicker fight is what I mean.
There's someone we figured needed rescuing.
Next up, Zoltan's Hollow.
The Ura fell back. No
A
doubt
straightforward level,
move, but we knew ours.
which isn't straightforward when you're playing casually, but gates don't really exist for us. Or pillars, for that matter.
Well,
So
now
in this level the gimmick is you need to destroy these conductor things,
is personal
these
for
things,
him and his
to open these things, but we don't care. We just kinda roll past everything,
conductors that are all what's keeping the place together.
even the chains.
Ura must be in a panic right about now. They even
The movement
sent rattletail pets on the
The movement to clip the pillars is not tight at all. The movement elsewhere is pretty tight because sometimes you can just not notice where the ground spawns because it's sometimes discrete by the layer on top. The layer on top isn't ground. The ground is what forms below it.
The Ura bring out their big guns.
One bad thing that could happen, and is happening, that guy is following me, and he could kill me during this cutscene, which would make me restart the level. I only have one life. Right. Next up, we're going to go into the distillery, and the
You had to
reason
see if
we have it
everything
over
so far
there.
to you was true.
First of all, we're going to equip
Time to sample
the
spirits
safety
from my
spirit,
personal
Party Punch, which gives us another life.
Party punch is so zesty.
Now we do confirmation storage by stacking it,
Once the kid gets that
by
last shard from
pressing escape and confirm at the same time, or cancel. I don't remember what the button in the distillery says honestly. Basically by interacting with the distillery twice in the same frame, we can carry the screen over to this level, which will be used like in 3-ish minutes? 3-4 minutes? At the last screen of the level. I fell down now on the right here to instantly cancel out the cutscene, which would have happened if I just walked forward. The second section there's going to be the last beneficial bike vault ever.
Oh, we're not gonna die.
To cross a small gap,
All of this.
since we will gain the ability to jump and it's slow.
Things will go back to the way they used to be.
Yeah, it crosses such a small gap, it's still worth it. Now we got Hopscotch, the worst spirit in the game, but we needed to finish the game.
Times that didn't go your way.
So we have to bite the bullet and just do it. I'm trying to gain very risky. I took a bit too much damage, didn't I?
Everything you've ever done, you could do it over.
I'm just going to heal. That was a dangerously low HP.
I guess there's nothing
Wouldn't want to
more
risk it. And even if dying wouldn't end the level, since we got another life,
who am I kidding?
if we died, we would have to cancel out this screen dimming thing we have here going on right now. And I don't want that, because it makes the last screen so much faster.
Well, I designed
I could use pie codes here while I'm jumping if I mess something up like here,
that sets things back.
like a safety net for me,
I can't test it.
but it's not faster.
Wondering if the calamity happened already. What's to stop
It's
it?
faster to just regularly jump over.
After the Bastion does its thing.
Next up we're going into the pre-last
I don't know.
screen of this level, where we are going to lose our jumping power and not be able to dodge in any way, shape or form, but we're going to get a powerful weapon, battering ram, which is slow as all hell.
Way out of this mess. It's alright. I can tell. Why would you
Slow as a snail. First we need to activate the switches
unless you wanted to
to open the
stay
gate.
with us?
We clip this gate towards our battering ram.
Weight of the calamity. It's on
We
us.
gain our two new attacks, which are both slow and basically kill everything, and the secret skill,
Bastion
which can be used while moving right after we pick up the battering ram. Otherwise we have to stop.
we could
We cannot roll anymore, we just have to clear the rubble by destroying it. Slow weapon.
we could carry. Of course, that would
And
be
we're going to enter
going
the
bad
last screen of this level.
ever.
And the reason why why are we carrying this dim screen in the first place?
We take off away from here. That way, all
I'm not going to activate it instantly, even though that's technically faster because I like dealing with the first group of enemies
countrymen won't be giving up that
like
shit
this.
fight, don't you?
While we regain speed, we lose damage reduction which this weapon carries. This weapon carries 33% damage reduction. Activating it, activating our speed back means we take triple damage from everything.
Zolf ain't lost every shred of decency though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plans. He tried to warn the kid.
This is an HP management
This ain't
intense situation, I guess.
it ain't a It's such a shame.
And this is why we have equip Heart Punch, because it's safe.
One thing's for sure, the Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zolf.
Were to die once more, the run would be completely dead as we would have to redo the whole section, but lucky for us, we're immortal.
But I don't think he'd make the same mistake. I wouldn't. Don't you worry though. Once
Oh, yeah.
the Bastion's restored,
In this last section, we're leaving Zolf behind because it's faster.
although
We could pick him up.
like this,
It's slower, but it makes for a better story. You have to move fast enough to make the ground spawn as fast as possible, but also eliminate the enemies which are trying to knock us back. This way can be knocking us back pretty far, much farther than one would anticipate. I missed one of the enemies. Right now I'm trying to power through to launch this huge AoE
kid's probably dealt with Zolf by now.
to enter this place, which ends the level. I don't actually use the Skyway, it just initiates the cutscene that makes us use the Skyway. So the game is basically done. Now it's basically mashing the button so we would get up quicker.
Hey kid,
The kid struggles 3 times and then the third time he gets up.
get up, kid.
One small detail, since we did the dimmed screen thing, called distillery storage, we are going to regain our ability to roll here.
Funny.
If we hadn't done that, we would be jumping in this section, but now we will be rolling. That's another tiny time save of the distillery storage.
Set that shard into the
Once the cutscene ends, we can put in our last shard, and we are going to be teleported to the heart of the Bastion, where we will end the game. Normally there would be two options to pick for the ending, but we skipped a plot important item in Prosper Bluff, so we can only pick one ending.
Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbye.
Luckily for us, one ending is available by default. You don't need to have an item, so it doesn't create any bad things. Here we just talk to the two NPCs, and then we can use the machine to end the game. And that's that. This run didn't go too well, but not too bad. I'd say the estimate would be around 48 minutes. My game crashed, nice. Nice. But there's literally nothing else to show, there was just credits going to go. So, that's that. Hopefully you enjoyed this submission video, and I'll see you at ESA. Haha! Alright, thank you for watching.